The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Time to bundle up. The mercury is plummeting. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Hart.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yeah, that sharp drop in temperatures will bring that blast of bitter cold. It's already moving in tonight.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Rach, you and I were talking right before the show, and you said, look, there's the temperature tonight, there's the wind chills tonight, and then there's the emotional impact.
I was like, you need to copyright that, because that is a thing. Because I said, it's really cold out there. Even though the wind chill is 9, I have to say emotionally it feels more like -5. 8 is the wind chill in Meriden, 15 in New Haven. Again, this is not a future guidance. This is what it feels like outside right now. And we will approach records as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. The daily record low for tomorrow in Windsor Locks is 3. I think we just miss it, but get within a few degrees. And I am forecasting that we break the record for the Connecticut shoreline. The Bridgeport record is 17. That was set back in 1989. So it speaks volumes as to just how cold it is this early in the season. The actual temperature, not what it emotionally feels like, is 23 in Meriden, 23 the current temperature in Groton, but it's the wind that's adding that extra chill to the air. And these are sustained wind speeds with higher gusts up around 30 to 35 miles per hour. So the wind chill bottoms out over the next several hours near 0, but it looks like the wind at least will diminish a little bit as we head towards daybreak. So we're still dealing with the cold. It just won't be as windy. Here's a look at those overnight lows to start off the day tomorrow. 8 in Hartford, 10 for an overnight low temperature in Waterbury, and 3 in Torrington. At least we see plenty of sunshine tomorrow. High temperatures will only climb into the 20s, so we stay below freezing. We'll talk about a weekend warm up, but the chance for a little bit of light rain and snow first coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And of course, Governor Ned Lamont has activated the state's severe cold weather protocol so the most vulnerable populations can get protection from the cold, because it could be life-threatening. When activated, a system is set up for shelters, including transportation to shelters, and the protocol will be in effect until noon on Tuesday.
Well, new tonight, the attorneys for Jacqueline Torres Garcia's estate have been given the green light to move ahead with a wrongful death lawsuit against the state and DCF. Now, she's known as Mimi. She was 11 years old when she died from malnutrition in Farmington. Her body was found behind an abandoned New Britain home. Mimi's little sister Nina is also named as a claimant.
According to these newly filed claims, the state is accused in a long list of failures that led to the death of Mimi, like failing to remove her from the care of her mother's boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita. Additionally, they are accusing, I should say, the state of failing to conduct background checks, perform adequate safety and wellness visits, despite having information that should have prompted that. The legal team is asking for a total of $100 million, $75 million in the wrongful death of Mimi, and $25 million from DCF for alleged negligence against Nina. Nina, who was also in the care of Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia. Garcia, Nanita, and Carla's sister, Jacqueline, have all been charged in Mimi's death. Well, the Cheshire Board of Education was expected to vote tonight on a redistricting plan that could impact hundreds of families, but that vote did not happen. Overcrowding from a pandemic population boom has pushed several schools over capacity. And even with 2 new elementary schools opening this fall, officials there say redistricting is necessary. The board renewed the 5 proposed maps again tonight, but did not take action.
State officials say the inmate who's accused of attacking a corrections officer earlier this week died this morning. The Corrections Department says it's investigating the death as an apparent suicide. Officers found 27-year-old Jayshawn Bellamy unresponsive in his cell. He was pronounced dead at the hospital at 3:48 this morning. The chief medical examiner will perform an autopsy. Bellamy was halfway through his 20-year sentence in a sexual assault case. He was originally at the Osborne Correctional Institution in Summers, but was moved to another prison after the attack on Monday. Officials say Bellamy was the only person in his cell. State police are investigating his death and the assault.
Waterbury police arrested a Meriden woman and accused her of shooting at a man Saturday in the area of Grand Street. They took 39-year-old Jessica Towles into custody today, and police say she shot at a man who eventually showed up at a hospital with gunshot wounds to his arm and abdomen. At this point, though, it's not clear if he was wounded by her gunshots or someone else's. Police identified Towles as a shooter in the case, and one of the main charges against her is criminal attempt at assault. But they say other people were involved in the altercation as well.
We'll take a look at these surveillance pictures that we have from Waterford police. They say these three men stole more than $6,000 worth of items from Prowess Gaming. This was on Tuesday. Officials tell us they took Magic and Pokemon cards and then took off in a white Dodge Ram U-Haul van. Investigators don't know the license plate number. If you recognize these men, contact Waterford police.
The New Haven Fire Department shared some sad news today. Firefighter Christopher Brainerd died on Monday following a battle with cancer. He was 36 years old. It's still unclear what type of cancer he had. Brainerd worked for the department the last 10 years as the truck company 2 driver. New Haven's fire chief says he wasn't just a good firefighter, he was also an exceptional human being. Brainerd is survived by his wife and 2 children. A fundraiser is now being held to support his family during this time, and all department flags have been lowered to half staff for the next 30 days. Boston police arrested a Norwalk man today for his role in a massive street takeover last October. 19-year-old David Moran Chavez is charged with burning a car, illegally having fireworks, and disturbing the peace. Officials tell us there were more than 100 people who threw fireworks and cones and poles and other objects at Boston police cruisers. One cruiser caught fire and was destroyed, but thankfully no officers were hurt. Police say Moran Chavez will appear in Connecticut court as a fugitive from justice. 2 other men from Rhode Island were also charged in the same incident.
We have an update to a story we've been following the past couple of days. A missing man whose car was found burned near the Enfield town line is home safe tonight. 20-year-old Julia Stakinis was last seen on Monday. Tuesday, officers say they found his car burned near Scantic River State Park. Law enforcement searched the park for the past couple of days and found nothing. But this morning, East Windsor police announced he returned home safely and thanked everyone who shared the department's posts and helped with tips.
Turning our attention to an old case now. What happened to Suzanne Jovin? Why was she killed? And most importantly, who killed her? Those are questions that still don't have answers 27 years after the Yale student was stabbed to death in New Haven.
She was found in a neighborhood just minutes from Yale's campus. Fox 61's Solene Arif shares her story tonight. It's a story her loved ones and detectives hope people keep sharing until the case is solved.
27 years ago, right here where I'm standing, someone viciously ended Suzanne Jovin's life. Now, nearly 3 decades later, some of the same people are still working to figure out who killed her, and time hasn't slowed them down. 27 years of sunsets and sunrises that Jovin never got to see. She was so close to graduating. She was a senior studying political science and international studies at Yale University. And the person who robbed her of that future was never arrested.
A real surprise, a shock, and I was really sorry that the case wasn't solved.
Jim Hadler's lived in this neighborhood since 1990. His house is just yards away from the crime scene, and his memory of that week still stays in his mind.
I remember the detectives coming down the next day, interviewing people and looking for evidence of a murder weapon, basically a knife.
Those detectives working the case included New Haven's original police detective on the murder investigation, Ed Kendall. He met us where Jovin's body was found, hoping somebody watching the story hears him out.
We ask anyone who might have information to please come forward and contact the New Haven Police Department. Law enforcement agencies and civilian people have worked hard on this investigation.
Kendall has since retired from the New Haven Police Department, but he hasn't retired from fighting for answers for Jovin's family. And he's not alone. Other officers also haven't given up hope that this case can be cracked.
We all are in contact. Even though we are retired, most of us, we still talk and try to develop new information for the case.
The case is now being handled by the New Haven State's Attorney's Office. While decades have passed since the case opened, they refuse to give up.
That year in 1998, there were 15 murders in New Haven. All murders were solved and cases closed except this and the murder of Suzanne Jovin.
27 years later, this neighborhood still holds one of the state's biggest secrets.
This one seems to have been remained a mystery.
It's not too late to give her family closure. There's a $150,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest and conviction. That reward could be yours if you come forward. Reporting in New Haven, Solene Arif, Fox 61.